Hello, my friends. Welcome to our English Learning Podcast, where we practice language and explore deep ideas. Today, we're talking about a sensitive and important topic: why we can't leave our trauma. Trauma means painful experiences from the past, like feeling unloved, unsafe, or hurt as a child. These experiences can stay with us and shape how we think, feel, and act as adults. This episode is for B1 learners who want to improve their English and understand why some people find it hard to let go of trauma. So, grab a seat, listen closely, and let's discover why we can't leave our trauma and how we can start to heal. Trauma can affect how we live, from the choices we make to the way we feel about ourselves. Some people try to heal their trauma, but others can't let it go. There are deep reasons why this happens, rooted in our feelings and thoughts. In my opinion, understanding these reasons can help us feel stronger and take small steps toward healing. Let's look at some reasons why people can't leave their trauma behind. First, let's look at why trauma feels so familiar. According to studies, for some people, pain feels like something they know well. Even though it hurts, it's comfortable because it's familiar. Painful feelings like sadness or numbness can become a safe place, even if they're not healthy. For example, someone who grew up with unkind words or actions may feel that sadness is normal. These feelings can be like an old, worn-out blanket that feels comforting, even if it's torn and heavy. Letting go of trauma can feel like betraying that familiar part of themselves. It's scary to think about a life without those feelings, because they've been part of daily life for so long. For many, trauma feels like home, because it's been with them for years. They may worry that without it, they won't know who they are. This familiarity makes it hard to leave trauma behind, because it feels like part of their life story. People may hold on to pain because it's what they know best, and stepping away from it feels like losing a piece of themselves. This can make healing seem like an impossible task, as the familiar pain feels safer than the unknown. Next, we'll explore how trauma gives a sense of control. Holding on to trauma can feel powerful. It's like something people can hold when life feels uncertain or scary. For example, some people stay busy with work or school to avoid thinking about their pain. They might take on extra tasks, study late, or focus on projects to keep their mind busy. This makes them feel like they're in control of their pain. They think if they stop, the pain will take over and overwhelm them. This can leave them feeling emotionally exhausted, as if they're carrying a heavy weight. Healing means letting go of this control and facing the pain, which can feel frightening. It's like stepping into the unknown without knowing what will happen next. For many, keeping trauma feels safer than letting it go, because it gives them a sense of power over their feelings. This need for control can keep people stuck, because they're afraid to trust a new way of living. They may feel that controlling their pain is the only way to stay safe, even if it keeps them trapped. This fear of losing control can make it hard to leave trauma behind, as it feels like the only way to manage their emotions. Now, let's see how guilt stops people from healing. Some people feel guilty about healing their trauma. They think it's selfish or wrong to feel better when others are still hurting. For example, some people have family members who think healing is silly or weak. These family members might criticize them for trying to get better, saying it's a waste of time or a sign of disloyalty. This can make people feel ashamed, like they're betraying their family by wanting to feel happier. This guilt can make them hold on to their pain for a long time. They don't want to feel like they're leaving others behind or acting better than them. For some, guilt is a strong reason to keep trauma. Healing can feel like hurting the people they care about. even if those people are stuck in their own pain. This makes it hard to take steps toward a happier life because they feel they don't deserve it or that they're abandoning others. They may believe that staying in pain keeps them connected to those they love, even if it hurts them. This sense of loyalty to others' pain can make leaving trauma feel like a betrayal, keeping them stuck in their struggles. Another reason is how trauma becomes part of who we are. According to studies, trauma can feel like a big part of a person's identity. They don't know who they would be without it. For many, trauma shapes how they see themselves because it's been part of their life for so long. For example, someone might have spent years feeling strong by pushing through their pain. They might take on extra work or tasks to avoid their feelings, thinking it makes them tough. Letting go of trauma means finding a new way to see themselves, which can feel like a big risk. It's like starting over as a new person, leaving behind the only version of themselves they know. This can be scary because trauma feels like it defines them. It's hard to leave trauma when it's woven into their sense of self. People may fear that without their pain, they'll lose something important about who they are. This makes healing feel like a threat to their identity, keeping them stuck in their trauma. The fear of losing their sense of self can make it hard to take steps toward healing, as they cling to the identity their trauma has created. Next, we'll discuss how trauma leads to unhealthy relationships. Some people hold on to trauma by choosing people who remind them of their pain. For example, someone might stay with a friend or partner who makes them feel small or unloved because it feels like the pain they knew as a child. These relationships feel familiar, even if they're bad. They repeat old patterns of pain, keeping the trauma alive. Studies show that some people choose partners who act like someone from their past who was unkind or absent. This can make it hard to heal because it's like reliving the past over and over. Healing means noticing these choices and trying to find people who make you feel safe and valued. This can be hard because it means breaking away from what feels familiar and choosing something new. It takes courage to step away from relationships that feel like home but hurt you. Leaving trauma behind means building new connections that help you grow, not keep you stuck. The pull of familiar but harmful relationships can make it difficult to move forward, as they reinforce the pain of the past. Finally, let's explore why trauma makes us fear change. Trauma can make people afraid of change because it feels risky and unknown. Trauma often comes from painful experiences that make life feel unpredictable. To cope, people may stick to what they know, even if it's painful. For example, someone might avoid trying new things, like making new friends or changing their habits, because they're afraid of what might happen. This fear of change can keep them stuck in old patterns, like staying in relationships that hurt them or avoiding new opportunities. Healing means facing this fear and trying something new, like choosing healthier connections or taking small steps toward happiness. This can feel scary because it means leaving behind the familiar pain and trusting the unknown. Studies show that this fear of change is a big reason people hold on to trauma. It's like staying in a dark room because you know it, even if it's not safe. Leaving trauma behind means stepping into the light, which can feel uncertain but offers a chance for a better life. This fear can make healing feel overwhelming, but small changes can help people start to move forward. In my opinion, we can't leave our trauma because it feels safe, familiar, and part of who we are. It can give us a sense of control, make us feel loyal to others, or make us fear change. But understanding these reasons can help us see that we don't have to stay stuck. Studies show that healing is possible when people start to notice their feelings and make small changes. For example, choosing to spend time with people who make you feel good can be a step toward healing. Healing means being kind to yourself and believing you deserve to feel happy. It's not about forgetting the past, but about letting go of its heavy weight. It takes time, but it helps us feel free to be our true selves, without the pain holding us back. In this episode, we explored why we can't leave our trauma. We learned why trauma feels familiar, gives control, causes guilt, becomes part of us, leads to unhealthy relationships, and makes us fear change. By understanding these reasons, we can start to let go and feel stronger. Healing is not easy, but it's a way to find peace and live the life we want. Until our next episode, keep practicing your English and stay curious.